Well, nearly 2 years since the Supreme Court overturned Roe versus Wade, it will hear its biggest case regarding abortion on the medication Mifepristone. Today, it's used in more than half of all abortions across the U.S. And to help us break down this monumental case, we have SMU health law expert Seema Mohapatra joining us this morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. We want to start by asking you, what's at stake in this case?
Well, what's at stake is the access to the drug Mifepristone, which is used in over 60% of abortion cases. And so what the Supreme Court is considering is whether expansions of use of the drug that were made in 2016 and 2021 are valid or not. And so that's what they're going to be considering, whether it can be prescribed via telemedicine, whether it can be used up to 10 weeks in pregnancy, or if it's going to be rolled back to 7 weeks in pregnancy. And whether nurse practitioners can prescribe it instead of just physicians.
Of course, abortion top of mind, Roe versus Wade, the overturning of that, a big issue last time. How did we get here, though? How did this case make it all the way to the Supreme Court?
Yeah, so there was a group that basically brought this suit, a group of doctors, anti-abortion doctors, that are claiming that the FDA approval of Mifepristone in 2000 was based on incomplete safety data, and that's what they were claiming, and they were actually trying to overturn that FDA approval in 2000. Now, the Fifth Circuit said, no, that approval is okay, but that they can roll back the restrictions to prior, 2016 time period, which would really impact access in states like Texas and in all 50 states.
Now, let's say the Supreme Court does decide to revoke the FDA approval of this drug. Do you expect any more challenges to abortion access to follow, and what might that look like?
Well, so the court is not going to consider whether FDA approval of this drug can be revoked, because that's not what they took it on. They're just looking about the expansions. But let's say that they do roll back the expansion of the drug to 2016. It's going to result in a flood of other cases that may or may not be abortion related, but by people that might have, problems with certain kinds of drugs, whether it's COVID vaccines or gender-affirming care. It could be something completely unrelated. And this is why the pharmaceutical industry is concerned about this case and concerned that if judges are in the position to roll back FDA approval, all the time and money that they spend on developing these drugs could be kind of wasted, and it would impact access to these drugs for patients in a whole variety of issues. So there's a lot of health policy matters that are in play in this that are, beyond abortion access, which itself is important.
Yeah, and Seema, real quickly, we ran out of time. Okay, Seema, thank you so much for taking the time today and breaking down what is really a complicated and heartfelt issue for a lot of people, especially here in Texas.
Thank you so much.
All right, time now for us to take a quick break.
We'll have your weather on the ones when we come back.
Yeah, 17 past the hour. We are going to take a look at some weather across the state of Texas. This is Austin, looking like a lovely afternoon, and San Antonio as well, 71 this evening. It's springtime, y'all. We'll be right back.